Hi, welcome to Sacred Tea. I'm Phil. I'm here to share what I've learned, what I'm still learning, and what I plan on leaving behind for my son and anyone else the universe decides to send this way. So, if you want to create your dream life, manifest with purpose, heal genuinely, or simply live a life that feels good, you're in the right place. Let's get into it. So, from the last video, part two, we were talking about prayer and making sure that your life is in balance and what balance we should be striving for. Now we're on to part three, okay, which is what is the ultimate goal that you're trying to gain? A lot of times when we think that we want something in particular, we want what we believe is going to be the outcome of that decision. And when we pray, right, are we praying for what we really want or just what we believe is missing or what we think is missing? Sometimes what we're asking for is just the symptom and not really what you really want, not like your actual soul desire. A lot of times what your real desire is in alignment with God's purpose, your true purpose, what you're really looking for. Okay? So you got to ask the question, what is the ultimate goal? What are we like really hoping to feel or experience, right? Are you praying for a thing or a feeling that you think, it's going to bring you? Because when prayer is aligned with truth, it's not just a wish list. We can't get into this prayer thing and say, all right, I'm going to ask for a ton of stuff, just begging and pleading for a bunch of stuff. Because what you'll realize, or what you'll find, is that you're not going to get the things that you're asking for. And you'll continue to ask the same prayer over and over and over again, not realizing that that is not what you're supposed to be getting. That's not the purpose of what you are here for. So you got to recognize what is the symptom, what is the root, okay? Because let's say we're just praying for more money, right? But what you really want is not necessarily the money, or some of us be like, I still want the money. But maybe you're praying for safety. Maybe you're praying for freedom. Like maybe you really want freedom, okay? Like maybe you're praying for a better job, right? In hopes that, you'll get more money, or you're praying for a promotion, when in reality your true purpose is entrepreneurship. So you're praying for this promotion. You don't get the promotion when the reality is that your purpose is in entrepreneurship. Maybe you're a really good hairstylist and you're sitting at a desk job. The desk job is not your true purpose. And then you're sitting there crying about like, why didn't I get the promotion that I've been praying for, when in essence you got what you're supposed to get, which is to the opportunity and the space to be a stylist. Because now you're put in a position where you're going to have to go and make ends meet as a stylist. And then you're going to have to learn about marketing. You're going to have to learn about managing, your time, managing clients, understanding, social media and that kind of thing. And getting those clients together that you would normally have gotten otherwise, because you are now an entrepreneur. That was something that you prayed for. You prayed for a better job, a better situation, and that ended up being you being an entrepreneur. Or even like you're praying for a relationship, but that may be masking the fact that you don't feel like you belong anywhere, or that your self-worth is in the crapper, and you possibly need some healing. But you're looking for this relationship to fill that void, and then you're praying for that, when in actuality you should be praying for a community where you feel like you bring value and you belong, and finding things that make you feel good inside, like I was saying before, that helps increase your self-worth, and therefore you're not necessarily looking for someone to provide that self-worth for you in the form of a romantic relationship. God is not going to answer the request. He's looking for the intention behind the request. What is the intention behind it? Does that align with your purpose? Does that align with who you truly are? We don't know what those things are, okay? You have to get clarity on what that looks like for you. And what I'm saying here is that, not that your prayers won't get answered. Everybody's prayers get answered. Every prayer that you have gets answered. But the power is the clarity in the prayer. Okay? The clarity is what gets you to the manifested desire, the alignment. God's will. Like everything lines up when you are in alignment with God. When you're in alignment with Source. When you're in alignment with the universe. Everything lines up. And now there's nothing that can stop you from getting that, right? That's what we talk about when we say you have to be clear, right? And we also talk about like having a specific feeling or a value that you're trying to embody, when you're going into it, right? When you're asking for these things, we'll talk more about, the emotional guidance scale. You'll always hear me talking about, whether you're at a high frequency or you're at a low frequency. They're both very powerful places to manifest from. Okay? You can manifest from either side, whether you're feeling, joy, appreciation, or empowerment, or you're feeling fear, desperation, and, powerlessness, Either side, you can still manifest. You can still get your prayers answered. If you're feeling deep and out and, your money management is in the crap, or you have no money, we don't know what's going to happen, I'm going to be put on the streets, then so be it. You're going to be put on the street. And if you feel like you have the best idea in the world and this is going to be the thing that saves mankind and God has given you purpose and you can just see it so clear and you're excited and you're happy and you can't wait to tell the world, same scenario. You're absolutely correct. Okay? You know, the real thing that you have to keep in mind is that you have to have trust in the outcome, right? You got to trust that God or the universe or your spirit or the ancestors, whatever you call it, right, may answer your prayer just a little bit differently, but always better than what you had in mind, right? And it's not necessarily like, oh, I didn't get what I want, because faith and, moving in alignment with God doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get exactly what you're looking for. But you got to trust that you're going to get the upgrade that you wasn't looking for. Like every time, you are looking to level up in your life or whatnot, I've always kept an open mind on whatever it is that I'm actually trying to achieve. Basically, whatever you're doing, pray in purpose. Pray in your purpose, not in panic, not in fear. Because again, you don't want to be at a low vibration. Being at a low vibration is only problematic. Talk more about that in a later date, but it's absolutely more problematic. So